Like you
Yes,
said,
yes.
you started working while studying, juggling odd jobs and academics, which is very rare for someone who is that
Hmm.
young. What were those first jobs like, sir, and what pushed you to start earning so early in life?
And I used to earn 3,000 rupees per month those days.
Despite dropping out, you wrote a book called Programming
Yeah.
Fundamentals in C for university students, sir. So, how did
Yes.
a college dropout end up authoring a technical textbook?
Only my room full of books, me, and chai.
That from tech to healthcare. What was your
Yes.
first real exposure to healthcare industry, sir, and what drew you inside it?
When I launched the company, I was 22-year-old.
You scaled from 5 hospitals only to now 1,000 plus hospitals. What was your thought
Yes.
process behind staying lean and organic? How does MedWorld actually work?
Hmm.
Like, could you explain in the platform in
Yes.
simple terms and how it automates hospital insurance workflows? Sir, welcome to another episode of Medhustlr, where we uncover stories of great resilience and innovation in healthcare and tech. Today's guest is the founder of a game-changing health tech startup, MedWorld Solutions. From earning a mere 3,000 a month in a small town to now leading a company generating over 15 lakhs per month and serving over 1,000 hospitals. His journey is nothing short of remarkable. Please welcome Mr. Vikram Chunarkar, a true hustler, innovator, and the man behind one of India's fastest growing healthcare automation companies. Welcome, sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much for having me here. Yes.
We'll start from the very beginning, sir. You were born in
Yes.
Mumbai but raised in Chandrapur after your father lost his job, if I'm not wrong. Sir, how was your childhood like in those years of financial struggle, and how did that environment shape your mindset towards work and survival?
Okay. I was born in Ulhasnagar actually, and initially those in those days there was no KG1, KG2, so there was a Anganwadi if you remember. I studied Anganwadi in Chandrapur. After that, and first and second standard I was in Mumbai. I was in third standard at that time. My father lost his job, so we moved back to the Chandrapur, and there is a taluka called Bonpipri. We stayed there. At that time in the third standard, I was started facing this life challenges or a financial challenges. That was the time I started feeling that yeah, there is something wrong in the family side, or there's something wrong financially in our family. It's a big change from Mumbai to suddenly coming in a what we can say a ZP school. I joined a ZP school there. Then in third standard, then I started what we can say distributing a paper in houses. So I used to get a 5 rupees per day. Then I started working in the fruit stall because I like basically I like selling things. So in those days, I found one of the fruit seller. They want someone who is good in mathematics to calculate a kilo and everything. So I used to go with them and all that. So that was the initial days. Then in fifth standard, I got selected for Jawahar Navodaya Vidya, one of the biggest school run by central government, and which was started by Prime Minister Rajiv Gandhi ji. So got selected there. This is a school from 6 to 12. Whenever there is a holiday of 2 months, I used to come back to my hometown, then work with those fruit vendors and all that. I remember those days whenever I used to come to a home, the landowner coming home, the scolding for a rent and all that. Then we six people staying in a single room, and there are some of the nights when you need to sleep without food. So those were the struggling days, if I remember. Yeah.
Very inspirational, sir. As they rightly say, adversity doesn't build character, but it actually reveals it.
Yeah.
Moving on, sir, you already covered this segment, but I'll just so that we'll get more information about it. Like you
Yes,
said,
yes.
you started working while studying, juggling odd jobs and academics, which is very rare for someone who is that
Hmm.
young. What were those first jobs like, sir, and what pushed you to start earning so early in life? You briefly
Okay.
describe about the jobs, but can you please tell us like what
Uh,
pushed you to think about earning so early in life?
yeah. So as I told you, the motivation was the major motivation was food, because if you can't earn, there was no food at home. So my mother, sisters, they used to work in what we can say on a daily wage basis in a field. So if you remember, Gondbipri, it's a region of where there a lot of rice has been made or a lot of wheat production has been done. So they used to work there. My father used to work in what we can say as a watchman in the buildings. Then I used to work as a paper distributor. So my younger brother used to work on a field. So we all six are working because of the financial constraint. But the major reason was simple. The food is the primary thing. When you are hungry, you need to work to have a food. So we used to work because at the end, in the evening, there is no food if you are not working. So that was the major thing.
Again, very inspirational, sir. Moving to your teenage and adolescence, sir. You joined Nagpur University for your bachelor's in engineering in
Mhm.
computer science, but eventually you dropped it. So, was it a
Mhm.
financial decision, or did you feel the education system wasn't giving you what you needed?
So the simple was I was left with no other option than leaving the college. So I'll tell you my schedule when I was in first year of my engineering college. So I used to get up six o'clock in the morning. Then by 7 o'clock I need to 6:30 I get ready. Then by 7 o'clock I was having one class, tally class. So I used to go there. By 7:30 that class was over. So I used to study the tally. And by 8:30, 7 to 8:30 the class was running. Then after 8:30 I walk around 6 to 7 kilometers to another class, which was going to start on 9 p.m., 9 a.m. I used to go there, and from there, used to teach people. So initially, I get to learn. Then 9 o'clock, I used to teach people about MSCIT, about the what we can say computer science. So initially, my background in 11, 12 was computer science. So I used to teach the students, and I was in first year of my engineering. But I used to teach to a engineering last year student or a BCA last year student because I told them that I am in a last year. They took my interview and I got selected. So no one knows that I'm in a first year of engineering. Then from 9 to 12, that class goes on. Then by 12, that class completed. Then from that Tukudoji Square, I used to go to a main bus stop. So it takes me around one and a half years. So by 1:30, I reach there. From there, I take a bus to my college. What we can say MSRTC bus. So it took again 1.5 years. So by three o'clock, they dropped me a 10-kilometer away from my college. So from there, I need to walk to my college almost 10 kilometer every day. Sometimes I get a what we can say lift. Someone gives me a lift, then I reach early. So by 3:30 or 4 o'clock, I reach college. So every day after half college was over, I used to reach there. So no one knows my name, but everyone knows that this 84 roll number used to come after half of the day. So either he may be a very rich, what we can say, we call it a bigda hua ladka, bade baap ki aulad. So either I may be a that person or something. So from there, 6 o'clock, that college over. Then I took a bus, a college bus. They allowed me to use their bus. The bus again dropped me to my teaching institute. From 7, I again teach the student to 9 o'clock. And from 9, I go to home and have a lunch, dinner and everything. So this is my schedule for around 1 and 2 years. Okay. And I used to earn 3,000 rupees per month those days. There was no detention list made without my name because I go to college after half college is over. So I never remember that any detention list was made without my name. Every detention is my list, name is on the top. At one point, I need to take a decision. College told me that, see, we can't allow you every time to sit for an exam if your attendance is not good. What I thought, let's drop the what we get at teaching institute. I'll find some night job and I'll complete my college. So I dropped from the teaching institute. But in those days, there was no online market or there was no what we can say online jobs or internet. So I tried everything to find a night job, BPO and everything, but there was nothing in that time in Nagpur. So even I tried to go into a bar because bar used to work 24 by 7. So I asked them, see, my mathematics is good. So I can calculate your daily how much you sell and everything. But he asked me, can you calculate what is 30, what is 90, what is 60? So I don't know how to calculate that. So they not allowed me to work there. So at the end, I decide what can I do because there was no night job. At last, I thought that कि जिंदा रहना ज्यादा जरूरी है. खाना ही नहीं खाओगे, जॉब नहीं है तो कुछ मिलेगा ही नहीं. तो आई थॉट कि जिंदा रहते हैं, कभी टाइम मिला तो इंजीनियरिंग कर लेंगे, जिंदा रहेंगे तो कुछ कर ही लेंगे लाइफ में. तो एट द एंड फिर आई थॉट कि चलो जॉब छोड़, हमें जॉब ज्यादा जरूरी है अगर यहाँ रहना है जिंदा तो. खाना खाना पड़ेगा, रहना पड़ेगा, रेंट देना पड़ेगा. And then I drop out from the college. There was no option left other than that.
Inspiration, sir. So despite dropping out, you wrote a book called Programming
Yeah.
Fundamentals in C for University Students, sir. So how did
Yes.
a college dropout end up authoring a technical textbook?
Yes. So as I told you, my background, you already knew that my background was very vast. The mind keeps on working. My mindset was I used to think of the idea to do something in a different or something which can end my poverty or which can end my struggle of the survival. I always used to think that what better I can do, what I have, which can give me something which can take me out of this situation. As I told you, my initial background was computer, and I was good at computer science and everything. So my knowledge was in computer, and so I decided, why can't I write a book? Because whenever there was an exam, I usually am the topper of the computer subject, and many students come to me for the explanation and everything. So I decided to write a book. That's the initial thought process. But at that time, I was 21 or 22-year old. So it's difficult to find a publisher. I'll tell you a story how I find a publisher. So I used to go to a publisher's offices, but I can't dare to go inside. As a 21-year student, how I dare to go inside and tell him that, yeah, I can write a book. Even he can't, he thought that, yeah, मजाक कर रहे हैं कोई. ठीक है. So I used to wait, let's say 2, 3 weeks. I used to just go and wait outside and roam behind their offices, but I can't dare to go inside. And one fine day, I decided, let's see what will happen and go. Let's go inside and tell him that I can write a book. So went inside and tell him, sir, I'm teaching in this XYZ institute. I'm last year student, and my computer is knowledge is very good, and I can write a book. Somehow he got convinced. I don't know how he got convinced, but I got he convinced, and then he allowed me to write a book and everything. So once he said yes, it took me 6 months. So in 6 months, I never go to college. Only my room full of books, me and chai. So it took me 6 months to complete that book. And when that published, I got nothing because no one read the book. Yeah. The major, can say, selling of book is not that much. So that was the thing. Then after that, I wrote also object-oriented methodologies for Alliance publication. Then I wrote one Marathi novel also. So yeah, that's how I jumped into that book writing thing.
That's a great story, sir. Somebody to write, somebody to drop out of college and then even think of writing a book. I think this is truly
Yeah,
phenomenal.
I'll tell you one thing after this. So I drop out from college after my fifth sem. So this was the third sem when I wrote my book. And I used to go to college also, fourth sem, fifth sem. Somehow my college teachers knew that this guy has written a book. Then my trustees called me, yeah, you wrote a book, show us. Then I showed them a book. Then they keep that book in library. So my teacher get jealous. How can a student write a book? The teachers not. So they stopped teaching to my class about the C program because book was written in C. So my C lectures were dropped for all the students. So for 1 or 2 months, I teach to my colleague, classmates about the C programming and all that. So then I lost interest in the college because teachers were not behaving that well and all that. So I thought, let's stop it.
I think that was the right thing to do, sir. Sir, then the pivot came, sir, from tech to healthcare. What was your
Yes.
first real exposure to healthcare industry, sir, and what drew you inside it?
So after writing a book, then I left the job. I'll get a job easily. Okay. But it took me 1.5 years gone, but there was no job. I tried finding a job and everything. I was in a situation ki any job I'll join because the debt was so high. There was no rent paid, no money to give to a tiffin person and everything. So suddenly, one of my friend told me that there is an hospital who needs one person who can handle their insurance department. So I go there, interviewed, and I got selected. So yeah, that's how initially I started working in healthcare. That was my first exposure to hospital industry, where I worked for 1.5 year and got the knowledge and everything.
Sir, while working in hospital insurance claims, you saw massive inefficiencies like paperwork chaos, delays, and miscommunication. Can you please take us to the moment where you said the system is broken and I'm going to fix it?
Yeah. So see, I worked there for 1.5 year. So my relation with my boss was very good. He was very good boss. We used to work as a friend. So I understood that this system is broken somewhere, and there is a lot of issue faced by the hospital, or because of the hospital issue transferred to a patient as well. So I told my boss that, sir, we can launch this as a company. He used to work as a consultant in a different multiple hospital, but that was not a registered company. So I asked him, sir, we can launch him as a company. But I was in 22-year-old, so he was not convinced. He said, बच्चा है बोल रहा है ठीक है कोई बात. So in those days, my salary was 4,000 rupees, and after 1 year, I got 4,500 as a 500 rupees promotion salary. So that was the thing. I knew that my boss is not going to listen to me, and the thought behind dropping out from that what we can say consultancy and starting my own was the very personal. My sister was getting married in those days, and the contribution I have done in her marriage was 500 rupees because my salary was 4,500. So I sent her a 500 rupees. So for a brother, you are very close to your sisters usually. You need to contribute, so that contribution was put me in the guilt. So I thought I'm not doing anything for my family. Somewhere I need to do something, or someday I need to take a decision. How long this will go? So in anyway, I was having nothing to lose. So with the collaboration, I thought, let's drop here. I need to do something different. So I drop or I resigned from that position, and then I moved to Aurangabad to start my own venture. So in the back of my mind, I knew that I'm going to do this only because and then I have this knowledge only. So from there, I started my journey of starting a company and all
Before it became a tech platform that is now,
that. Hmm.
MedWorld started manually with you
Yes,
cycling between hospitals. How did you
yes,
build your trust with your first hospital client? Do you remember the moment
yes,
when somebody finally said
yes,
yes to you?
yes. So to be very frank, so it was not hard for me to close a deal. Even now also it is very easy. For me, closing deal never been hard because I don't give fancy pitches. I'm not fan of their fancy pitches and all. I usually tell my client everything clearly with a complete transparency. What can be done, what cannot be done, challenges, risk, and everything that gives me confidence also. Yeah, I'm telling truth to my client. So, and that shows a conviction on my face or when I am pitching. Usually, business person, hospital owners are also a businessman. So, business person used to like this. He clearly telling what can be done, what cannot be done. So I go them or tell them, sir, this is possible, this is not possible, and this we can achieve in this much of time. When I went to a hospital in a 7 o'clock in the morning, I reached the hospital. I wait there for a 5 hours because owner was not there. And I told the admin that, sir, this is the profile I work. I work in the insurance domain. I can do this and that. He was convinced and he asked me to wait for that. And then owner of the hospital came in. Then I explained him everything and without any fancy speeches. So he said yes to me. So I still remember that. And even today, I go to any client, if client is big or small, anyone, I tell them upfront, so this is possible, this is not possible. That's how it's easy to convince the client when you are telling the truth.
Yeah, keeping it simple always helps, isn't it, sir?
Yes, but the major challenge I used to face now and then also. So when I launched the company, I was 22-year-old. So the young guy with no mustache, no beard, no maturity on the face, and giving a commitment or telling that I can do this and that. The initially client feel bit uncomfortable that can he deliver what he's saying. So that was the challenge. Other than that, there was no challenge. So yeah, I still remember my first client. He was Dr. Dunake in Aurangabad, Maharashtra, now called it Chhatrapati Sambhaji Nagar. So that he was my first client.
Sir, most startups chase VC funding early, but you chose
Yes,
to bootstrap and you scaled from 5 hospitals only to now 1,000+ hospitals. What was your thought
yes,
process behind staying lean and organic and staying bootstrapped?
yeah. So the my background is the whatever the way I have grown up is the major reason behind that. So the fear of debt was there, to be very frank, because I told you initial days, so there was a lot of debt, people coming, schooling. So I was very fearful about it. I decided that I'll not raise any debt funding or anything. I'll grow organically. And initially, there was no intention to run as a company, to run as a what we can say a big company or a startup. Even we don't know those what we can say a name also. There's no name as a startup. There was no name as a founder and anything. The initial intention was very simple to what we can say support my own family and help them financially. Okay, and after some time, I knew that whenever